Ever find yourself knee-deep in failed crops? Your neighbor's sheep treating your land like an all-you-can-eat buffet, and the whole town gossiping about why you're still flying solo at 37. Well, have I got the neat life hack for you? Witchcraft Accusations. Just point a finger and you can squash old beefs and snag some extra acreage. Stick around and I'll show you how to turn those witchy suspicions into your personal success story. First, let's talk about the why. Why would you want to accuse someone of a witchcraft in the first place? Sure, you might think it's all about protecting your town from the devil's minions, but let's be honest, this is about you, your goals, your rivalries, your grudges. Back in 1692, life was tough. Crops were failing, taxes were rising, and everyone was worried about the Native American attacks or another smallpox outbreak. But instead of blaming things like poor planning or bad weather, why not blame witches? Now, if you're smart, you'll start looking at your problems through a new lens. Is your milk sour? Did your cow mysteriously drop dead? Did you stub your toe on the way to church? That's no coincidence, my friend. That's witchcraft. And if you're really clever, you'll find a way to connect those incidents to someone you've been meaning to get rid of.
Her chickens keeps crossing onto my land. Obviously, she's using them to curse my crops. Burn her.
And here's the beauty of it. No one can prove you're wrong. I mean, how do you disprove that someone isn't talking to the devil at night? When life gives you lemons, accuse your neighbor of using them for satanic rituals. Now, let's dive into the details of how to spot your witch, gather evidence, and make the town rally behind you. It's time to tackle the big question. Who's the witch? Fear not, pinpointing your target is as easy as pie, and history offers a smorgasbord of options to guide you. First, look for the outcast. Are they poor? Do they talk to their cats? Do they mumble a little too much when it's windy? Congratulations, you found your first suspect. Take Sarah Good, for instance. She was a beggar, muttered to herself, and let's face it, she didn't exactly light up a room. Naturally, people assumed she was working with Satan. I mean, why else wouldn't she smile more? Next, dig into local feuds. Has someone been fighting over land, livestock? Who's been eyeing your apple orchard? Salem was practically built on petty rivalries, so turn those disputes into your personal witch-hunting goldmine. Thomas Putnam was a pro at this. He had his daughter accuse almost everyone he didn't like. Did it help his family claim more property? You bet it did. Now, maybe you're looking for revenge. Maybe you just want to climb the social ladder. In that case, accuse someone better off than you. You'll knock them down a peg and no one will question why you suddenly moved into their nice house after their unfortunate hanging. And don't forget, kids are your best allies. Everyone believes them, no matter how ridiculous they act. Tell them to cry, scream, roll on the ground and point fingers. And voila, instant evidence. Spectral evidence, baby. It's like regular evidence, but with none of the pesky need for proof. Want to seal the deal? Find a doll, some strange herbs, or literally anything that looks remotely suspicious. Trust me, they'll eat that shit up. Now that you've identified your suspect, it's time to put them through a series of scientifically rigorous tests to confirm their witchy ways. Remember, the more absurd the test, the more the townsfolk will believe in its efficacy. First up, the classic swimming test. The logic is simple. Witches, having renounced their baptism, will be rejected by the water and float. Innocent souls will sink like stones. So, tie up your suspect and give them a gentle toss into the nearest body of water. I see, floating. Clearly a witch. Just be sure to retrieve them before they drown. After all, we wouldn't want to lose a perfectly good execution to an accidental death. Next is the touch test. Have your accused witch touch a victim in the throes of a fit. If the victim calms down, it obviously means the witch's touch has drawn out the evil influence.
You see that? Instant relief. Proof positive of witchcraft.
Or, the power of suggestion, but let's not get bogged down in the details. Now, onto the pricking test. Witches are said to have a devil's mark, a spot on their body that's insensitive to pain. So, grab a needle and start poking. When you find a spot that doesn't bleed or cause discomfort, you've hit the jackpot. Never mind that it could be a callous or sheer terror-induced numbness, it's definitely the devil's work. Now that we've expertly identified the so-called witches through our foolproof methods, it's time to discuss the grand spectacle of justice. After all, what's the point of a witch without a public display to cement your power and keep the masses in check? First, the trial. A mere formality, really. Ensure the courtroom is packed. The more eyes, the better. Present your evidence with unwavering confidence. Remember, the goal isn't truth, it's conviction. Spectral evidence, dubious confessions obtained under duress, and the testimonies of the afflicted are your best friends here. After all, if someone claims they saw the accused consorting with the devil in their dreams, who are we to question it? Once the inevitable guilty verdict is reached, it's time for the execution, a public spectacle to instill fear and reinforce your authority. Hanging was the preferred method during the Salem witch trials, where 19 individuals met their fate at the end of a rope. It's efficient, public, and sends a clear message. Dabbling in witchcraft is a surefire way to hang out in the afterlife. Remember to offer a final chance for confession. It's a win-win. A confession saves their souls, supposedly, and you get validation for your actions. If they maintain their innocence, well, the crowd loves a martyr, just not enough to do anything about it. For those who refuse to confess, pressing is an excellent persuasion tool. Gradually adding weight until the individual yields or doesn't demonstrates the gravity of their situation. Just remember, too much enthusiasm can lead to a crushing conclusion. With the witch disposed of, you can now reap the rewards. Confiscate their property, redistributing it to loyal supporters, or better yet, yourself. Land disputes, consider them resolved in your favor. Rival eliminated, check. Plus, the lingering fear ensures the villagers think twice before crossing you. Power, wealth, and unquestioned authority, all secured through the noble pursuit of witch hunting. Who knew that purging evil could be so profitable? In all seriousness, this satirical portrayal is based on historical events and is intended to highlight the absurdity and cruelty of the past witch hunts. It serves as a reminder of the dangers of mass hysteria and the abuse of power. During the Salem witch trials of 1692 and 1693 in colonial Massachusetts, more than 200 individuals were accused of witchcraft. Of these, 30 were found guilty, with 19 executed by hangings. However, this was much worse in Europe, where between 1450 and 1750, it's estimated that around 80 to 100,000 individuals were tried for witchcraft, with roughly 35 to 50,000 executed. So while you might think of using witchcraft accusations to benefit, think of what you might cause. It won't be long until someone wants what you have, and we both know where that path goes.